What's going on, guys? This is Gainz Gaming. Today we are talking about ranged combat. We are here on my ranged account and whether or not this is actually worth doing, whether it's your main account, whether you're making an alt account, whether you're doing it with your farm accounts, is it worth investing into ranged combat and ranged commanders, ranged gear? Are the kills worth it? And today we're going to dive into that. First, we're going to go over what I have done so far with ranged combat on this account. Now, obviously, this was one of my farm accounts, and I have turned this into an engineering/siege ranged account. So I have already expertise Margaret the First, and I have started investing slowly into the other three ranged commanders. So right now, I'll show you the pairings I'm using. Currently, I'm using Margaret and Gonzalo, and then Gaja and Babur. This is what I have found has worked the best for me. Maybe there are better options out there, but for me personally, this is what I have seen work the best with just my own experience. But comment down below if you guys have a better one, or Mr. Siege, if you're watching this, comment down below what you think the best one is. I know I've talked to you a little bit about, like what the best pairings are, the best gear, all that kind of stuff. If you guys have not checked out Mr. Siege, he is a fully Siege account, so make sure you check out his YouTube channel as well. But the gear I am running on these marches, this is the gear I have in my Margaret. Not too shabby. I am very happy with this. I have a couple special talents on here. Of course, I got the immolating plume or whatever. I got that special talented. After I crafted it, I messaged Mr. Siege and he was like, "Oh, that's not good. You shouldn't have done that." So I wish I would have landed on the ring or the horn instead. But then this is the other set I have going. Obviously not as good, a little bit more gathering gear that I have here, but I do have them special talented, so I'm at least getting some extra stats there. But I do still have the ring and the horn on this account, so the gear for me isn't that bad. This one is actually very, very solid. And then where I'm at with these other commanders in terms of just skill level, Gonzalo, I have him at 5532, I have Babur at 5511, and then I have Gaja at 5225. So I don't have a ton invested into these. I have been putting sculptures into them, getting skills periodically because we are fighting right now. And so we are going to go over reports that I have from these commanders. Now keep in mind, I have not spent a penny on this account when it comes to tech. Tech is very, very low. I do have full siege invested into. The reports I'll be showing are mostly from before I even had this like at level 7. I think I had this at level 4 in the ports that we're going to be looking at. And then all this stuff I didn't even have. I didn't even have any of this unlocked during the reports that we were going to look at here today. So taking a look at the reports that I have favorited, we can see here, this is what I have going right now. Obviously not a whole lot, but you should not be expecting to get 1000+% trades because you're not going to get that regardless. But these are from today, just sitting at the pass. The thing about pass fighting with ranged combat is that it's actually not that optimal because as you saw right there, someone just stepped out and I got a couple shots on them, but I'm taking more sebs than them because I'm a farm account, right? I don't have that great of tech. I don't have that great of gear. And so you have people that have high counterattack damage that are just taking this. Like you can see how many people are using ranged here too, but they're trading positive doing that, because we're not getting our active skills, and that is where you get the best bang for your buck. So this is actually a very bad situation for ranged combat unless they are sitting right here trying to push out of the pass. But when it comes to just a regular murder ball situation, they are very, very good. And sometimes it does not automatically attack. I don't know if I didn't have my war frenzy or something, but I mean, you can see, let's actually see if we can get a little skirmish here. They're actually pushing out. I might get wiped here. We might actually be able to see me get wiped and show you guys what that actually looks like. Looks like they are pushing out with the rally. This is actually a great opportunity for the video. This is not planned at all. But, I mean, we're just going to sit here and watch what happens and see how this trade looks. I don't know who I'm hitting right now. I'll actually zoom out to see if we can take a look. I want to make sure I'm not hitting their counter rally either, because if you hit a counter rally with this, you are just toast. You are absolute toast. You are going to be just completely wrecked. And the other thing when it comes to range combat, you're going to get targeted. People will go out of their way to hit you. And it's funny because they will take a very bad trade, getting swarmed down by your allies, to try to swarm your ranged because they think they're going to do very, very well. And typically they do. But you know, in a lot of cases when they do that, they actually trade much worse. but your trade is just not going to be great either. So you just have to be aware of that. You have to position yourself in the right situation where you're not, you know, on the front line, because your chances of getting swarmed are very high in that case. But if you're, you know, behind a murder ball like this, you have a very good chance of not getting touched, and you'll just get, you know, passive attacks here. It looks like we're pushing them out. We have a second rally here coming in actually. This might actually help us take the pass, because they've held it for a little while, but you know, when it comes to one rally, we've actually been dominating them pretty well. Holy crap, that just got annihilated. My goodness. But let's take a look at how those reports did so far in that, because like I said, you get much better reports when you're getting active skill damage. And when you're just getting a couple shots here and there, you're not getting your active skill damage. And that's where you do the most amount of damage, especially with your Gonzalo, because your Gonzalo is doing AoE. If you don't have your Gonzalo, so my Margaret has Gonzalo behind her. So let's take a look here. So we have 90% here, 345 to 386. And this one, 500k to 400k. So when it comes to a farm account, this is very positive. This is very, very good. But let's take a look at an actually good situation when it comes to fighting, because this is not where you want to be using ranged, in my opinion. I think this is a very bad situation to be using ranged. I think it's good to put farm accounts here where you don't care about the trade, because, you know, we have like 20 ranged accounts that are just sitting here. Whenever people come over, they're just getting annihilated with, you know, our counterattack damage essentially. And so they're going to die much faster. So when they come to swarm our rallies, they're going to die much, much, much faster. So that's when it's a good situation. But when it comes to how you're going to trade, it's not going to be great. So let's take a look at these other reports. So these are backed from a couple weeks ago. So 11/7, today is the 17th at the time of this recording. But we can take a look. We'll just kind of go through this KVK is the favorites I have here. Obviously, not every report looks like this. These are just ones that I favorited. I had some that were 30%. I had some that were 50%. But these were the ones I was like, okay, this is a good report where it's like I just got to sit there and do my ranged combat. And that's what you're looking for. That's what you want to be able to do. If I got swarmed down, I don't think I favored it, because that was just a bad situation where I didn't move early enough, or I was just in a bad situation. I was in a bad spot, so that was just bad on me. But here is a good situation where you do everything right and the March performs as you want it to do. So here, 235%. This is Margaret and Gonzalo, 1 million kill points to 450k. You can see the 7 wounds here. This is full T4. I don't have T5 unlocked on this account. Next one here, we have Margaret as well. And I did kind of mix around the pairings, so we'll probably see some of those pairings here too. It's going to be annoying if it keeps jumping me up like that. But 1.5 to 500k, and this is actually a good situation here where you can take a look at. This is the guy I was targeting. And so 170k to 290k, just me sitting there attacking him. And then you can see the AoE value. From using Gonzalo, you're getting a lot of AoE value. Here, 37k to 135k. All right, I'm just going to leave this because I'm just going to keep on getting pushed up if I don't. So we're just going to leave that. It's fine. So we are here. So we can actually see like the extra value you're getting, not from the AoE, but also just from targeting new people. So here, again, 270k to 93k, 7 wounds there as well. Again, you're going to be fighting a lot of T5. So that's something you have to take in consideration too. You're going to take a lot more 7 wounds, but the power difference will be pretty solid. This one here, we have 1.3 to 460k. Let's see if we can find the big report. Here's one with just AoE value. Let me scroll down and find that, because that was 100k of just AoE. Let's take a look here. Yeah, right here. So this was the guy I was attacking, 70k to 102k. And you can see I had 97,000 units remaining. Not a whole lot of units. But here, 95k units, 434 units. This is just pure AoE from Gonzalo. 104,000 kill points. 5,000 7 wounds from just the AoE. So that's very, very, very solid. Here we have Gaja and Babur, 1.1 million to 586k. Again, like I said, like you guys saw the gear on this account, not great. Here is the big report. Let's see if we can scroll down and find that. Here it is. So this is actually against a Tariq and Sargon, 48k to 107k. So, I mean, not a bad report here. Like you guys saw, the gear in this isn't that great, and the commanders aren't that far either in terms of expertise. You can see most of the favorites here are Margaret and Gonzalo, because that's the most I have invested into, not just with gear, but also just where the commanders are. This one here, 1.7 million to 650K. This one, 1 million to 230,000. 1.1 to 380. This report is crazy. I mean, 55K to 187K. So as you guys can see here, I'll just keep on flipping through. As you guys can see here, when you can lock on to 1 March and just continuously get AoE value from Gonzalo and just continuously just wreak havoc, you're going to do a lot of kills. You're going to get a lot of kill points. Obviously, this is a slow way to get kills. You're not going to have 5 ranged marches on the field because there's not even 5 ranged marches. There's 2 ranged marches you can use. So I'm hoping that they eventually add in the epic ranged commanders like they said they were going to do. Obviously, we haven't seen that yet. And I'm hoping we see that here eventually. I hope we see it soon because I think that'd be really good for the game to add in those new ranged commanders. And I just think that'd be really good for the game because you have people that are investing into ranged combat just waiting for new commanders. Right now, you really only have the 2 options unless you run like just a basic 2nd or 3rd March and it's not even a ranged commander. You're just doing it for, I mean, the extra kills that you're going to get. You're going to trade horribly, but you're going to get more kills. So that's something that, I mean, you could do. Personally, I wouldn't recommend it. What that would look like is like me taking my other marches out here, like Belisarius, and using him in V formation with this gear and just not trade well, but still get more kills. So that's another thing you could do with the farm account. But again, I wouldn't really recommend that. But I mean, I think that there is a lot of value when it comes to ranged combat. I really hope, like I said, that they are going to add in more ranged commanders because I think that will help make the case. I think in this situation, would I main as a ranged commander? No, I personally would not. Mr. Siege does. I know other people that do. There's a couple people in 1079 that are fully ranged accounts, and they trade amazing. They get like 5 million to 700K trades. Like they get better trades than my main account does fighting in actual fighting. And they get it from just sitting in the back, collecting kills basically. But you know, when you look at their gear, they have full T5 Siege. They have all legendary, all special talented, all like, you know, upgraded. You have amazing armaments. You have like basically everything going for you. I forgot I didn't show my armaments. Not amazing, but not horrible either. But like I said, some people that do fully invest into Siege, they do really, really well. And so there is going to be a lot of value when it comes to investing in a Siege. And I think it's just the beginning. I think this is going to be something that is going to get further and further into the game as they add in more commanders for them, more epic commanders, potentially more legendary commanders in the future, I'm sure. But I want to hear what you guys think. Do you think that ranged combat is A, worth doing, and B, I mean, do you think it's going to be meta? Because I think like when we look at the new KVKs that we have coming in, the one with the ranged combat, I can't remember what it's called, but we did like the test server with a ton of the content creators, and it was awful. I'll be completely honest. I did not enjoy it at all. I thought that ranged combat was completely horrible. If I were in that KVK, I would not even want to fight it because the ranged combat was so overpowered. Like you couldn't do anything. You just couldn't. You were stuck. You took horrible trades. You're done. It was awful. So I'm hoping that it doesn't get to that extent. I think where it's at right now is great. I think they just need to add more commanders. But I want to hear what you guys think. So comment down below what you think about ranged combat and if you're going to invest into it, if you have invested into it, and what you think the future holds for ranged combat. Thank you guys for checking out the video. Have a great rest of your day.